Mahalo, everybody. I'm Josh Stone for Inside Maui, where we find those hard answers for the tough questions. We'll see you soon.
You are Inside Maui. You're inside. You're on the inside. Inside Maui. Stay tuned.
Mayor Tavares, a very interesting point that I read about you is that you were a lifelong Republican, but a year ago it's rumored that you ripped up your Republican card. Rumors, they fly.
Uh-huh.
And I want to know, why'd you do that, and do you think that being nonpartisan is important?
Oh, boy, that's a great question. I can't answer that in 30 seconds because it's an important one.
You have as much time as you need.
First of all, the lifelong Republican thing is, it's because my father was a Republican, okay? When I first ran for the council, it was partisan. You had to be a member of a party, basically, or an independent or whatever. It was a natural for me to stay with the party that my father dearly loved. You know, and a lot of us are associated with parties because our families were always that way. My father loved Abraham Lincoln. That's why he was a Republican.
Similar to religion.
Yeah. I forget what year it was, I was the one who actually introduced the legislation to make the charter amendment to go to a nonpartisan election for a council and mayor.
I understood that.
Because I felt that the issues that are facing our communities are not along party lines. They are basic human needs. They are what people are close to. And, you know, common thing we say is there's no Republican pothole, there's no Democrat pothole, there's just potholes, and they want it fixed. So I think that the nonpartisan part of it is very important in the local election. Now, our state and federal government still are partisan, and probably, you know, for good reason. And so if they want to stay partisan, that's up to them. I question whether or not the state should even still be partisan. But on the local level, we've seen a growth, a huge growth in the number of independent voters. Hawaii, as a state, is Democratic, you know, basically. But you know there's a lot of people in Maui County that are independent when you have people running partisan, Republican, that win. Okay, you've got my dad won as a Republican mayor. Linda Lingle won as a Republican mayor. She won as a Republican governor. So you know that's not all Republicans that are voting for those people. It's all kinds of people voting. And I think that the voter now is being a more discriminate about why they're voting for someone, or they evaluate more. They look at the person and what the person brings to the table rather than what party they belong to. So I think we're seeing that more and more. So I think it's good.
Do you think it's a national issue where people are just jaded with parties and bipartisanship?
I think that has a lot to do with it because they see so much infighting amongst, you know, this group, that group, and they just say, enough already, you're not addressing our issues. And I think that has trickled down to where people here, and especially in Maui County, are looking at the persons and what they can, like I said, what they can do.
Right. Now, talking about voters, what kind of message does it send when only 30% of the population shows up to vote? And we get 40,000 out of 130,000 people voting. Do you think it's just jaded constituents, or people just don't care?
I think some of it is people just don't care. Some of it is people are just too busy. They're working 2-3 jobs. They got families to raise. They got to put food on the table. But voting is not a high priority for them. We need to continue to find ways to get people involved in what happens in their county or state or whatever, so that they at least participate in the voting.
At least locally.
At least locally,
because this affects them so directly.
Now, speaking on the same breath, the state government, which controls or manages the voting of the state of Hawaii, counties have nothing to do with it. They've got to do more in making voting easier for people. I mean, it's not an easy process to go vote. And when they say, oh, yeah, well, your employer's obligated to give you 2 hours off to go vote, blah, 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 blah. Well, you live in Makawao, you work in Lahaina, you can't go, it's going to be hard for you to make the 2 hours off. Mm-hmm. Even if you leave work 2 hours, who knows how long it's going to take you to get from Kapalua back up to Makawao to vote. Mm-hmm. So it's not easy. Yes, there is a mail-in voting thing. A lot of people are afraid of the mail-in voting because if you make a mistake, then you can't ask for another ballot, mm-hmm. or, I'm afraid of it, or whatever the reasons are. But we need to continually find ways to get more participation. Mm-hmm. But it does start with a lot of education. Mm-hmm. But
agreed.
Yeah, I mean it's a I hate it that the voter turnout. I don't represent the majority of the residents here. When you look at it,
I know it doesn't give you a very great mandate.
No. It doesn't. That's why I said this does not go to my head at all. Because it's a minority of the residents that elected me.
It's an interesting fact.
It's a fact.
You are the mayor. Aloha, I'm Josh Stone, and you're watching Inside Maui on MauiToday.tv.